I have more sympathy for Mr. Kapasi because he was dealt a tougher hand. Like, his marriage is loveless, but it was also an arranged marriage, so he was kind of like forced to marry her. And then his kid died at a young age, and his one of his jobs reminds him and his wife of the death, but he has to work both those jobs because he needs the money. Like, there was really there was none of his choices led to him having like that sucky life. Like, he was just dealt a bad hand, and there was really nothing he could do about it. But on the other hand, Mrs. Dawes, she also didn't have the best life, but she also made some choices to put her in a worse position. For example, she didn't have to marry Mr. Dawes, and even if they were in love at one point, it's obvious they fell out of love, and that she had a affair about 8 years before this, and a kid during that affair. And it's not fair, like, for her to have Mr. Dawes raise that kid, and for her like to not tell him that it's not his or what happened, because it's obviously a loveless marriage. Like, she had the affair, and somewhat in this story, she somewhat fantasizes about Mr. Kapasi, and for her just like to act like nothing's wrong, and for her to confide in Mr. Compassion, but she can't tell her husband, like, it's kind of messed up in a way. Like, so some of her choices like made it seem as if I'm not gonna have as much sympathy for her because of what she did. While for Mr. Kapasi, he was just dealt way worse of a hand than Mrs. Dawes.